The end of the year is always a time of reflection for me. I always like to look back at what happened in the last 12 months and think about what I've achieved, what I've failed to do, and so on. It's just one of those things that I tend to feel like doing at the end of the year, and it's not always healthy, I would say. There are different ways of doing it, and I think that I have a tendency towards doing it in a negative way. I look back and inevitably I think about all the things that I haven't achieved, all the things that I set out to do and didn't manage. And then I have this whole long list of, well, things that I didn't do in the end. Like, for example, I didn't take as many pictures as I wanted to take this year. I didn't make as many videos as I had hoped. I didn't read as much as I wanted. There's always something missing in a way. I fall short of my expectations, and that's in part because my expectations are way too high. There's this project management wisdom that says that any project will take double the amount of time that you plan for it, even if you already account for that. I tend to think that I'm more in the 3 times as long range because I have perfectionist tendencies, so things take even longer. So that's one of the issues that I have, and then I fall short. After I take stock like this and realize that I haven't really managed to achieve what I wanted to achieve, I always feel like I'm not enough, and it's just unhealthy to think in that way. So I'm trying to train myself to rethink these attitudes whenever I notice that I'm doing that to myself. So when I think, oh, I haven't taken enough pictures, I tell myself that there are reasons for that. The reason why I haven't taken so many pictures is because I have made a lot more music, and with that I was actually quite successful. I have made a bunch of tracks, and I actually finished writing an entire album. I released it too in collaboration with Elmanto Records, and it's now a physical release. This is the first time that I did a physical release, and this was actually one of my goals from very long ago. When I first started making music many years ago, that was the dream, basically. For many years I didn't really work towards that dream because I thought it was unrealistic, and now I actually managed to achieve that. And so does it really matter that I didn't take as many pictures as I had hoped? No. Also, I actually took more pictures than last year, so maybe I didn't do so badly. But the way we frame these things tends to be negative because we're thinking about the things that we haven't achieved. Especially if we are very critical of ourselves, that tends to be a focus towards the negative aspects rather than focusing on our actual achievements. I actually did a lot of work towards one of my long-term projects that I've been working on for about 8 years already, and I think I'm getting closer and closer to the finish line. Even though I haven't finished it like I hoped I would this year, I made good progress, and I think I refined some of my methods too. So I'm actually very happy with my progress if I think about it in a more objective way and not in the Lilly is not good enough hate fest that I normally go into at the end of the year. As for the videos, I actually didn't feel like recording anything for the longest time because at the beginning of the year I had a bit of a minor surgery, and after that I was a bit in pain, and I didn't really want to be on camera. So I didn't force myself to do it, and this was basically self-care. So I should be proud of myself for not pushing myself in that direction when I didn't really feel comfortable with being on camera. I have to say that the videos that I did make this year, I'm actually quite proud of. I made this one photography video which had this intro that I spent a lot of time on, and I wanted it to be a certain way, and I managed to make it that way, and I'm very happy with it. It was also rather successful, so I'm happy with the outcome. I also made my first Eurorack video, which was a video about the Bastel Neo Trinity. I think that's even better of an achievement because for the longest time I didn't feel comfortable talking about Eurorack on camera because I'm still fairly new to Eurorack. I've only been playing with it for like 5 years or something like that. And there are people who are much more knowledgeable about this topic who are talking about it on YouTube. If I compare myself to DivKid, I always feel like I have no clue what I'm talking about. This is of course not true. It's again one of those Lilly isn't good enough strategies in my head, and yeah, it's one of these negative ways I think about myself. And in fact, I actually know quite a lot, and now I can actually talk about it comfortably on camera, which the Neo Trinity video was the perfect example of. So I'm actually quite happy with what I have achieved in this respect, and I'm glad that I made one of those videos finally, after fretting over it and obsessing over it and thinking none of the videos that I tried to record before were any good. I'm also happy with the video that I made about audiophile wires, which also proved quite successful. And this was part of my efforts to promote my new album, and it fits so nicely into the whole scheme of what I was doing. And the other album promo videos, where I showed you how I made the album and how I made the album art, all of these things were actually really fun to make, and I'm very proud of them. I'm especially happy about the success of the how I made the album video. And that's really cool, because sometimes I think that people come to my channel just for the information about what I'm talking about, like the plugins and the modules and whatever, and not really for what I'm doing. So it's really reassuring that you like my music and that you're actually genuinely interested, and that's really heartwarming and makes me feel rather good about my music, so that's really cool. So on the whole, I'm actually quite happy with the videos that I made. For music, I actually made a lot of progress also on the technical side, and I spent a lot of time learning. I learned a lot about mixing and mastering. I still have a lot to learn about mastering, but I think with mixing, I'm starting to get to a point where I'm actually happy with my results without struggling too badly. Mixing is actually quite complicated with ambient, because there are all these big washes of reverb, and that means it's very hard to place things in the stereo field sometimes, so that you actually hear everything that's there. And I'm getting much better at it now, because I have learned a lot more tools and techniques to make the different elements stand out. And yeah, I spent a lot of time doing this year, and all the learning time also took away from time that I would have spent on video editing, for example. So on the whole, I'm actually very happy with what I've been doing, and I think I've achieved a lot this year. I mean, I have a physical album out. It's so cool. I'm so happy about that. And that's one of those major milestones that I thought I wouldn't see for another couple of years, perhaps. And it feels so good that the album was so well received. It even got on Bandcamp, new and noteworthy, which blows my mind. I mean, so I'm really happy with how this album is going, and yeah, I'm so happy, really. So how about you? Do you also do that? Looking back at the year and thinking of yourself in this way, that you haven't really done enough, when in reality you've done more than enough and more than humanly possible, really? Because consider the circumstances too. I mean, look at the world right now. Creating anything under these circumstances is kind of a miracle in a way, because it always feels so overwhelming. Everything that's happening is just way too much. And we're here in the trenches still doing it. And sometimes I wonder whether the biggest achievement of my day isn't to get out of the bed in the morning, because that's sometimes quite difficult when everything seems a little bleak, and yeah, the world is just such a strange place at the moment that it's kind of hard to distance yourself from it enough so that you can actually make things and feel that it means something. So I think that in reality, I've done way more than I would expect of myself, in a way. I think we have to be kinder to ourselves in this situation, because it is quite hard to create under these circumstances. And I struggle a lot in this respect sometimes. I tend to channel it in different ways. I tend to write more. That's also the reason why I haven't read so much. I actually spend a lot of my time writing. And when I'm writing, I don't really think about reading so much. My mind is just too occupied with what I'm writing. I don't really show any of my writing to anyone at the moment, but it's one of the things that I do, and I've actually achieved quite a lot with this in this year, and I'm proud of myself for it. So I'm trying to be kinder to myself, also by looking back in this way of shifting my mindset a little bit. So I wanted to bring it up in a video because I thought at this time of year maybe a lot of people are doing the same thing, that they're not very kind to themselves and looking back at what they've done throughout the year in a not very kind way. And well, let's try to be a bit kinder to ourselves if we're overly critical. I mean, I'm definitely my own worst critic, and I know a lot of creative people who are the same way. So don't beat yourself up over everything that you haven't achieved. Rather look at the things that you have achieved and celebrate that. And in this spirit, I would like you to leave me a comment down below and tell me one thing that you're proud of this year. It doesn't have to be a big thing. It could be something like, I got out of bed on a bad day, or something like that. That already is worth celebrating. And maybe we should do that more. Celebrate our little wins as much as we celebrate our big wins. It doesn't always have to be something that you wanted to do for the last 20 years. Sometimes it would be enough to just, achieve something small and be kind to ourselves when we achieve those things. So leave me a comment, and I'm looking forward to reading those. If you enjoyed this video, then please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. It really helps out my channel and I would really appreciate it. You can also support my channel on Bandcamp by buying my music. I have a new album out, so you can check that out. There's a link in the description. It's rather dreamy and otherworldly, and I think it turned out great. There's still some tapes left, so you can try getting one of those if they're still available. And of course, there are also my older albums, Endless Nights and Hypnagogia, and that's always a really great way of supporting what I do. You can also support this channel on Ko-fi. You can get early access to my videos there or download the music in them. There are also behind the scenes blog posts that I post usually, and you can see what I'm working on when I'm still in the middle of finishing 3 or 4 projects at once and nothing's getting done. So there's a way of seeing what I'm doing at the moment when I'm not posting. This support really helps me out with long-term projects and all the more difficult things that I'm trying to do. All your support is really appreciated on Bandcamp too. It's really wonderful to see all the support, and I'm so grateful for it. In any case, I hope I see you soon for another video. Bye!